Shiny Pokemon have been in the anime for quite some time, and today we're going to go over every single shiny that has appeared in the Pokemon anime. I'm also going to put in a couple of bonus ones. The original shiny is Noctowl, owned by Ash. There was a shiny Shuckle that appeared in a Better Pill to Swallow Old Man Shuckle. The Shuckle was with an old man, and it showed up for a brief second. Now, Magikarp has showed up shiny for a couple of times. There was one that was owned by Jimmy. There was a wild Magikarp that just showed up and going for gold. And then in Pokemon Journeys, there was a Karasu who also had a shiny Magikarp in a jumping contest. Same can be said with Gyarados. There was a bunch of shiny Gyaradoses. You obviously saw the Gyarados get caught by Lance, who later brought it along in Pokemon Journeys. And then Lysander in the Pokemon X and Y anime had a shiny Gyarados, which he Mega Evolved. Jackson ended up having a shiny Magneton. Winona ended up having a shiny Swallow that she ended up battling against Ash's Grovyle. There was a female shiny Donphan that appeared that caught attention of a lot of other Don fans. There was a shiny Dustox that fell in love, that was Austin's, that fell in love with Jesse's Dustox. Kind of cool that they showcased that with the same with Ash's Butterfree. However, that Butterfree wasn't shiny. There was a Metagross that appeared shiny multiple times. There was a Metagross that James tried to actually catch to bring to Giovanni. Steven's Metagross that was also Mega Evolved too and also battling. In the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl's ending / outro, there was two Pichus that were running together, and one was spiky haired and the other one was shiny. Narissa ended up having two Dittos and one of them was shiny. In Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, there was a shiny Ariados that appeared for a brief second. In the Zoroark movie, for some reason, the shiny Sacred Beasts were there of Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Really cool to see. Now, what was really cool about the Pokemon White and Black movies is there was two different movies. One had a shiny Hydreigon in the White movie, and in the Black movie, there was a shiny Golurk. In Pokemon Black and White anime, there was a episode in which there was a raging Onix, and Meloetta tried to calm it down, and it was also shiny. The 8th gym leader in the Johto region, Claire, ended up catching a shiny Druddigon. In the Genesect movie, there was a shiny Genesect that ended up being the leader of the other Genesects. In Pokemon X and Y, Ash's Hawlucha ended up competing against another Hawlucha that ended up being shiny in a play. In the Hoopa movie, there was a shiny Rayquaza, which ended up Mega Evolving into a Mega Rayquaza. This is also interesting because there was a Rayquaza that appears in Pokemon Horizon that is also shiny. Amila's shiny Dragonair was really cool to see and was showcased in contests. In Pokemon X and Y, there was an opportunity for Ash to catch a shiny Phantom that he ended up not catching. It would have been really cool to see him catch this. In the same episode with the shiny Phantom, there was a shiny Pikachu, or we assumed that it was shiny because it was a different color. In the Volcanion movie, there was a different color Gengar who ended up Mega Evolving into a shiny Mega Gengar. Same thing with that movie. We had a Gardevoir that Mega Evolves and was also shiny. Love the shiny Gardevoir and Gengar. In the Alola region, there ended up being a shiny Charjabug that later evolved into a shiny Vikavolt. Now, Acerola's Mimikyu is definitely unknown, but it definitely had the look like of a shiny, and it also was dead. So it is ruled online as a shiny Mimikyu. There was a Boss shiny Pikachu that ended up having a weird hairdo. In the Alola region, there was just a bunch of shinies. There was a shiny Tapu Koko that ended up appearing. There were two shiny Guzzlords that appeared out of the Ultra Wormhole. There was a shiny Nalego that Gladian or Lily ended up having. When Magearna was introduced, Lily and Gladian's father ended up purchasing one, and it had all the colors and looks of a shiny Magearna. There was actually a shiny collector in the Pokemon Journeys anime who had a shiny Psyduck, Onix, Slackoff, Swinub, and Bagon registered in his Pokedex. There were two shiny Celebes that appeared, one in Pokemon Journeys and the other in the movie of Zarude. In Pokemon Journeys, there was also a bunch of other shinies. A shiny Larvesta that evolved into a Volcarona in the same episode. Go ended up catching a shiny Voltorb. And so far, the last one is a Gibeon's shiny 10% Zygarde, which ended up going up into a 50% Zygarde. In two Pokemon shorts on the Pokemon's YouTube channel, there was Pokemon Hisuian Snow that ended up having a shiny Hisuian Zorua, and we also assume that the shiny Zorua evolved into an Hisuian shiny Zoroark. And in the latest film of Poketoons, they had a shiny Charcadet that ended up evolving into a shiny Ceruledge. In another episode of Poketoons, there was a shiny Hoppip that appeared in part 14 as part of the Hoppip, Skip Up, and Jump Lift. You can see one that was green and was a shiny form. In Dragonite, the special delivery, there was a shiny Zebstrika that was seen with a Blitzel and a Zebstrika horde that was running around. New to Pokemon Horizons was Roy gets a shiny Lucario that he can Mega Evolve into Mega Lucario. And the newest addition to the shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Horizons, there is a shiny Ditto block that was appeared in episode 118. It was found by Liko and her Meowscarada to help, and it was a Ditto block that is a shiny Ditto, so pretty cool to see.